So here we are. Why sumo? First online one. So this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Juan Perez, and I guess that's it. I'm Juan Perez.
That's it. That's it. Where do you train?
What else do I say here? Like the
Where
part
do you
where
train?
oh yeah, I should probably plug in my my dojo. Yeah.
There you go.
Um, right now I'm affiliated with Iron Goat Sumo, but I am in the works of making my own branch under the Iron Goat Sumo flag in Tri Cities.
Okay. Nice. Nice. How far is Tri City from where Panda's at?
Spokane's 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a bit of a
That makes
drive.
sense. Um what got you into sumo?
Shoot, there's a load of things. Um, uh, it was like blips here and there. Like, oh, you see these YouTube videos, or like you see the Chiano foods. You see like a gag or two of like sumo. You see like a commercial, and like, okay, that's kind of tight, but like, what gets me going? And then Hinamaru, like I feel like that's it for like mostly like guys my age. It's just like it's been like I've been watching a lot of it. It's like, oh, this, that, and I feel like a little bit of a sheep. I'm just like so
No,
basic.
well,
No,
it was good. It was really
it's
good. So
good.
that's kind of the
I
proof,
enjoyed it.
right? Like
I
like
really enjoyed
I
it.
liked everything except for the part where they go spirit,
Yeah,
spirit. That was the one part I was like, oh man. I mean, you could have just said the one word. I know it doesn't
yeah.
translate right.
It's a bit corny when they just don't try to stick to it completely. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's what it is with anime. They try to generalize it so much. But
So
yeah,
you're watching Inamaru Sumo, and which character did you see yourself in?
honestly, when you first started out, I felt like Caleb Bacchus because he says Ozeki, like he's vibes with Ozeki a lot. But as I'm getting more and more into like the sport, and when I was because I first started watching when I was 14, and I only started getting into like wrestling, getting really good at that when I was in my 17s, and I'm like, I'm really liking Doji Kiri. I really like that guy because the whole way that he messes with everyone is just like, I just like sumo more than you guys, And then I'm just like, I like that. I like that. I want to just be able to tell my competitors the only reason why I won is that I like sumo more than you, and just to really piss them off. I feel like that'd just be nice. And what's it called? The match I had back at nationals. Um, everyone was just like kind of looking at my first match was just like, nah. Like and I was just like, that's the best part. I even told Zach, he was like, oh, I guess I'm wrestling you. And so I just hit him with, I wouldn't have it any other way. True story. You can ask him.
Which Zach did you get on the first round?
Huh?
Which Zach did you get?
Oh, the one that didn't register on the scale.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
He a big
Man,
boy. He a big.
everyone was hyping him up. Even during weigh-ins, there's like, oh yeah, there's a guy in your weight class that didn't even register on the scale. Like I'm just like, why y'all hyping it up? That's sumo to the core. I love that. Let me get some of that.
Yeah. So Hinamaru Sumo was that opening door for you, right? That was the one that was like, I need to start doing sumo. What was your like first practice? How did you find Mr. Panda?
Well, shoot, there's actually a bit of story before any of that because I
Okay.
watched you tomorrow when I was 14, and I had no clue where to go. I was just like, what do I have here that's sumo? And so I was like, wrestling. Wrestling is sumo. In a way, it's not really sumo, It's got wrestling, and that's about it. And so,
It's as close as you can get.
yeah, I was as close as I can get before I figured out about judo. But so skip 3 years. I go to senior year, and I'm just like, COVID. There's nothing going on. I'm rereading Hidemaru Sumo, but I'm really like just engraving it into me. I'm working out as hard as I possibly could, doing everything I can, eating right. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why did I start this? And I'm like, because of sumo. And so I got good enough to start to get to state finals. I'm doing everything I
Nice.
can to be like, you know what? Like, I have a Tri Cities Judo. It's like a very acclaimed judo place. I was like, if I get goaded enough, I could just go to Japan straight from this guy, you know, because he's a sensei there. But then got mixed up, went to college instead for wrestling. I was like, oh, maybe I could do sumo over there in Oregon, and then I'm like, it was just a mess. But then
Mm.
fast forward like a year or two, I did powerlifting just to get back in shape because I got the wrong kind of fat, you know. And then yeah, but it's funny. I'm the same weight I was when I was like, I gotta get back in shape, you know. But I get back into sumo, and then I'm like, there ain't no Instagram for no Washington sumo. There's nothing modern at all. I look at clubs and I see Spokane and Seattle, but Seattle's 4 hours away, and
Mm-hmm.
Spokane's been dead since 2023. Is it dead? So I look in Facebook. I'm like, I'm gonna tell you something right now. People from my generation, we don't look at Facebook for like nothing besides a car or something like that.
I don't look at Facebook. I like everything goes from Instagram and then gets shared over. I try to go on Facebook and I'm like, I don't know what any of this is. I'm
Right?
I'm too young for that, and I'm old.
Right? Honestly, just for me, it was just like, really, Facebook? But then I'm like, it's Stan, and Stan's like in his 40s. So, you know, I'm not trying to dog on my sensei, but it's like, you know, like it's just there. And
No,
so I went there.
most of the sumo is like there's workshops and all of these other stuff that are only advertised on Facebook. I think that that is a big issue. I also am like hard Instagram and then traditional marketing from there. So like websites and that kind of stuff. But I don't like Facebook. I don't I don't get it the same way that I don't get TikTok. I just my brain can't understand.
I feel like part of me is speculating a bit here, but I feel like that's where like the club boom helped out a lot, was just all these Instagram accounts just pop,
Mm.
pop, 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 pop. And then it's like, do you just see people, oh, they're like the next town over. Oh, they're like this place over. And that's why you have just certain areas that just like, bam, we're getting sumo everywhere now.
Yep.
But anyways, back to reeling it back into Spokane. I'm like, I see all these people. Obviously, Stan's just kind of like cherry picking and just showing off like when the clubs are coming in to like do it. And I'm just like, oh my god, there's so many people doing sumo here, and I'm like, let's go, let's over it, you know. And so I drive my ass down. And I literally text in the Facebook like, make some room for me. And so I couldn't sleep at all. I couldn't sleep at all from like, normally I go to bed at like, tell anyone I'm at bed at like 9
Okay.
p.m. something like that. I couldn't go to bed till like 1. I told my parents, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go to Spokane, you know, for nothing crazy, you know, just gonna go there for a little bit, around 6 or 7, like get there. I get over there, and there's 2 guys there, and and one of the guys had to leave early, and then it was just me and Stan. And so I'm real shy. I'm real nervous because I'm like, oh, I drove all the way here. There's like no one here. What do I do? But then the other part of me was like jealous that he was doing it for even just a year, because I thought the sport was so beautiful. And so I'm just like, put me in a Mawashi. I can handle it. Like, just I signed the safety clause and everything. Put me in a Mawashi. I'm not going to be great at it at all, but I need to be in a Mawashi. And so we do it. I kick his butt a couple of times, you know, because I'm just stronger and younger, and I love sumo more, you know. but but then another guy came in, Junior. Um, he's coming back in, Hawaiian guy, and he's just like, they're both kind of like just telling me, just like, oh, like, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be like, how old are you? He's like, oh, 20. Look, basically the same thing that John Jacks gave me. Like, you're 20 years old. You know, and I was like, yeah, I'm 20. But John Jacks also said, like, are you Hawaiian? And I'm like, I wish, dude. I wish sometimes, but then I probably have a tattoo already, and then
That'd
just
be
banned from
done.
that. And I'd be like, no, I'm doing football now, dude. Get out of here. but but yeah, everyone was telling me like, you could go pro, you could do this, and I'm just sitting here like okay, slow down. I'm blushing. You couldn't see it, but I was just blushing the whole way through. So happy, and then it just kept going on ever since.
So you started training with Panda, and what made you pull the trigger to do your first tournament, which was nationals?
No, it was the USA Open.
It was the Open. Oh, okay, so you did the Open a couple months ago, and then you did nationals.
Mhm.
Okay, how'd you do at the Open?
Oh, I listen. Like, there's the whole. I got 2 wins in heavyweight and 1 win in the Open, but the 2 wins that I had on heavyweight and the Open were actually pretty solid from what my teacher said, and hell, from what the guys who actually went to World said. They were like, "You should totally go to national." But the first match I had was against Danny Acosta. I
Okay.
remember it because I remember real vividly because I said dos koi in the match. I shoved them out while saying it. Like if you slow it down, you should go like that, and that's where the koi came out. And no, I swear it to you, I said it, and that match was just like, even though I got plowed by Mende, my first round I got Mende, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, so you're just gonna send the youngest guy to fucking Menge real quick. I see how it is, like that's cool, that's fine, that's whatever. Andrew, just you know, it's cool, it's fine. I don't care. I don't have a chip on my shoulder. But
Yeah.
if I know what the best is like, I can only get more aggressive from here because
Mm.
rules were all weird to me. I wasn't used to the whole like I can play the blame game all I want, but I won against Danny Acosta, then I won against Timmy. I forgot his last name, but he's a Canadian, and I
Mm.
believe he was a silver medalist in judo. I don't know what level silver medalist he was. Just that he's decent at judo.
Right.
But he don't nice side scoop. So wrestling won again at the end.
Wrestling translates over, I think, a little better. Just a little bit.
Honestly, yeah, because if you think about it, sumo is just about that, like the words escape me right now, but like just the build up. Everything's build up in sumo. The winning move
Mm.
happens, I'd say, uh, not nearly as often as just play out. We're just figuring out a way to make them trip. You know, yeah. And for me, my style of training is just like you got to do one move and you got to train that move over and over and over again until it turns into lizard brain. Because if it doesn't turn into lizard brain, you're never gonna win. And
What's your
that's why
favorite winning technique?
huh?
Your favorite winning technique? What do you like to do? Yorikiri, Oshidashi,
Honestly,
Dashinage?
um, man, the word for it's escaped me. But when you just supari them out, that's just
I already did.
huh?
Sapari? So
Yeah,
like frontal thrust out?
I guess for me, it's just because it's just kind of funny to look at like posts because just like boom boom and you just got them out there. That's how I won my latest match. My latest win was it was Supari, but what's been a nifty technique that like made my sensei ingrained more into me was Tawada, just like pushing against her neck because that's how I won against the really lanky Russian. Um,
Uh,
he got
Maxim.
yeah, I beat him.
You beat him? That's an
Like it's
accomplishment. That guy
yeah,
has the biggest resume I've ever seen. I I ran a SoCal Open, and then I have my questionnaire like, "What have you done?" And I thought I had a glitch in the system because it was like the whole screen on one thing. I was like, "What is this?" It's like multiple time Greco-Roman champion, freestyle, multiple time Russian European champion, world medalist. I'm just like, okay, all right, this is gonna be fun.
I it's funny because the way that the other Russian Aslan, he was in my weight class, right? But I didn't have the privilege to wrestle against him. But he just said, "You beat him. He's a very good wrestler." And I'm just like, "Ah, shoot, that's great." And I will say this, my biggest like advantage I have is that I was blessed with a very low center of gravity,
Mm,
like just ridiculously low. Because the guy, I'm like, he's gonna try to trip me. That's
mhm.
all I know. All I know is he's gonna trip me. I haven't watched that much film on him. All I know is that he's a giant slayer. Like he can beat giants.
Yes, he
So,
can.
and I'm like, what's one thing that I can do to make him have a shitty technique? And Panda, being Panda, is like my favorite. Um, I love Tamawashi so much. He's the best. I'm just like, oh, Tamawashi. I just
Yep.
kept my because he has such a long neck that's so much real estate there, man. Just
Yeah, like half of
he,
his body is his neck. It's weird. He's
exactly.
it's a very unique body type that I've never had to do sumo against, and it's like it's not just he's tall, but he's like tall, awkwardly strong, where you can't see it. You look at him and you'd be like, "Oh, he's not," but he knows how to use the levers that he has.
The
It's
guy is
very
built
interesting.
like four levers, dude. Like he's just built like geometry. Like you could probably
Yeah.
do some Pythagorean theorem on the fella. Like one thing is just like his Tsudiyashi is just
Mm.
odd. I was like, what? It looks like two sticks trying to go through water. Just and I'm just like, whoa, that's impressive. Like my Tsuyashi's not that good, but like because of you, I gotta make it better.
Mm.
But yeah, like the only thing going on through my mind in that match was like, man, all my brother, my sister, like everyone's in like a hot sun. I'm in this nice air conditioned room, and there's this fucking guy right in front of me, and he looks so smug right now. I know he's gonna have a soft touchy eye. He might even henka me, and that pisses me off even more. And
Mm.
I'm just like, just do what works best. And so Tawada them out.
Mm. You have a big hatred for the henka. Do you have is that something that's happened to you a lot, or is it just like that's literally what you think ugly sumo is?
Here's the thing. I don't hate the henka. It's just that it's a move. It's a perfectly legal move. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's not like you're just headbutting a guy over and over again, or you're just doing Sapari like this, where you're just trying to hit him, which happened
Right.
at the Open. Thank you very much. At the Georgian. I'm not gonna. That's it. That's it for the. I'm not gonna nag about the Open no more. I might get
Okay.
banned.
All right. All right.
But um, with the henka, there's like always the risk of just you just get knocked out, like because
Right.
you're moving, as what Konishiki says. You have more momentum. You're easier to move.
Mm.
My sensei, like Stan does get enough credit, man. Some like he does henkas, and I'm like, and it's good enough that's like, okay, this is what's probably gonna happen to you if you go against this. He gives me different looks and all that jazz. And like, let's say you're hurting, you need to do the henka, man. Like, you don't want to take freaking 400 pounds of dude right at your solar plexus when you know
Right.
that was detached like literally yesterday.
Mm.
And also, like, it can just show off more sumo, and it can show off better sumo, but it
Right.
is definitely not my sumo.
There it
And
is.
that's why it's like my soul doesn't want to do the henka.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, what was your favorite match that you've had so far?
Shoo. Favorite match that I've had so far.
Yeah, and
I
I it should be an official match, right? It should be Panda picking on you. Should be,
I was gonna
maybe
actually
something
say I was
from
gonna beat Pandas. It was one of my first couple matches with Panda because like I beat him and I was so fucking happy to win. I'm like I did so well, yay! That was my whole thing. But if I had to pick an official match, it would be oh man, that's a tie then. Because
Okay.
with Danny Acosta, the match I had against him, it was like I was just I was just locked in. I was just like focused in on winning. So when he turns back against me, boom, just got him out of there. And then the other match, and then like the roar of the crowd was just freaking nice. I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
Um, but then just the match against I had against Zach was literally just the sumo that my sensei wanted to teach me. Just like, Juan, if you stay low, if you keep staying low, you can beat anyone. And then I'm just
It's a
like,
pretty good Panda impersonation.
yeah. I mean, I'm around the guy a lot, and so I just I I didn't really blow Zachary out, but I got him. I was the one moving. I was moving the whole time. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. What's I'm a person that I learn more from my losses than I do from my wins. What's
Right.
your favorite match that you lost? And then if you could talk about a little bit like how you lost and how that will shape your future.
Oh yeah, this match keeps going on through my head over and over and over again. The match against Angel De La Torre,
Yes.
because what it was just me not being tech like in my basics at all. I thought I could just beat him because I thought my physical prowess was just a lot more. I think I was too cocky after like having that one match where I just suparied him out. Suparied the other guy out. Pardon me because I forgot your name, but like if you ever whatever contact me and say, "Oh, hey, you beat me," that'd be cool. But I I was like just in the like whole like okay, and then just hearing some guy say, "Oh, Supari doesn't work on him. Supari doesn't work on him." Like I'm like getting confused in my head, so I'm just like, let's just try to Oshi him out, try to do some regular, just strongman sumo. And I overextended. I'm out. I look like a chump. I look like a guy who's been through like 40 rounds of Butskari Gecko because he just threw me like that. And that taught me where I need to keep my legs, where I should keep my head, how I shouldn't be letting people grab my belt like that, so on and so forth. Honorable
Mm,
mention would be against Mende because I feel like I had a lot more sumo to actually give to him, but I just simply got knocked out.
and the person you beat with Sapari was Brandon Shaw.
Oh, Brandon Shaw.
I only know because it's on Smooth Comp, and
Mm-hmm.
I apparently live on Smooth Comp now. That's just where my whole soul and existence is. Sorry, random. So we had post nationals. We had a barbecue where we had one grill master. In hindsight, I realized feeding a bunch of sumo wrestlers definitely should have multiple people on the grill. I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like that was a yeah, for sure. But you during that time, I saw you really focusing in on your fundamentals, your movements, your rotations, and John Jocks runs a very, very, very good seminar just focused on classic sumo. Um, do you have any highlights from that you took away?
Hmm.
Because you got after it. You got after it. I watched some of your matches and I was like, holy crap. Like you were getting after it. And then when you kept going, your traps seemed to just get bigger and bigger. I was like, what is happening? I think at one point I like poked it and it went, boo.
What's it called? Well, the traps are because of I work at a nursery, so it's just
There it
constantly
is.
farmers walking.
Farmer
But
walks.
shoot, there's like a whole bunch. I mean, like one thing was just like the stretches that I learned. Some of it was just like, man, I didn't realize how tight it was because it's just like I'm going back and forth with the heels, and I'm like, I'm kind of intimidated. One of your guys, I believe, called me out and said like, "You're doing it a little too, you're a little too narrow," and I'm just like, a part of me wanted to get mad, but at the same time, just like, let it flow, dude. Just like I was about to be like, "You're not doing it," but then the other part of me just like, well, he's just telling you to get better. I'm like, word.
Mm,
So I just went back to doing that. Um, I won't say what exactly, but I mean the rotation was it's an obvious help with anything really. I feel like if I had the rotation where I needed it to, I could have cheesed out a win. Maybe even against Jay. I feel like
Okay.
if I knew that the right way, but
I mean, your
that's
losses
interesting.
were
But
only to Jay and Angel.
yeah,
That's like, so you lost to the open weight champ and then the heavyweight champ. And
that doesn't matter
obviously,
though. I'm just
I'm
mad.
just saying, you can still beat yourself up about it. Yeah, it's always like the a framework where you're like, okay, I'm within the distance, right? I'm like right there.
Right.
There's room and opportunity for me to grow.
Yeah. I called out Jay afterwards. I'm gonna get you. Because I'm young and you got two kids to worry about. I got nothing like that, man.
Yeah, you are young. You're extremely young. You're 20 years old. You're 20 years old, which is
Yeah,
wild. Uh
yeah.
that's I mean, I can remember myself at 20 and I was a jerk and a doofus. You have a bright future. Actually, you're about to be 21. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
A little less bright. A little less bright. But
I mean, you got like one more month.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's 24th. It's more like a couple of days, you know. But I'm not gonna drink or anything at all for
Okay.
because I don't know. For me, I feel like it would just make my dream either not happen
Hmm.
or if I don't get it, I would beat myself for that. So I'm just gonna be
What
dry for till I either
what's
get
your
it or
dream?
go pro.
GoPro? Can you speak a little bit more about that?
Well, shoot. I mean, I've wanted to go pro. Well, I told Panda this like when I first interacted with him. He's like, I'm Juan Perez. He's like, and I want to go pro. This is you gotta. It's like, so I hope you're a good sensei because I'm gonna do everything I can to take everything from you. I'm gonna go. He's like, I'm gonna take everything I can from anyone.
Hmm.
And I mean, I have gone to Japan before. And
Okay.
this was back when I was 14. Some high schools do this where they like, oh, you can go 2 weeks to Japan, and after like you save up a whole bunch of money getting ready to go there, stuff like that. I went there and I just wanted to see a sumo wrestler. You know, I wanted to go to
Yep.
Heya, but it was
Yeah.
July. So obviously I didn't know about Musashi Gawa, Beiga at the time or anything like that. Because if I knew about that, I would have been barking at Sego, been like, dude, take me here, take me here, take me here. It said, no, 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 sumo. But I was on the train and I saw a sumo wrestler. I didn't ask for an autograph or anything. I didn't do
Mhm.
anything, but I was mystified because I knew at the time now I knew it was a Sekitori, big guy, six guys around him. And I'm
Yep.
just feel
All
like,
those Secapitos.
oh my god, so cool. You know, he's just on his fucking
Yeah.
phone. And I've always dreamed about wanting to be the strongest I could ever possibly be, wanting to leave behind a legacy worth retelling over and over again. And you know, the
Yes.
whole meme where it's like, oh, how's he your uncle? And then just like it's just this dramatic, just like retelling of a grandeur story. And that's just what
Yes.
and I this is about me, but my brother is a really big influence on me. He's my younger brother, but me and him
Mm.
are basically the same age, and he's a genius. Like the kid's like taking third dimensional calculus when he's like 17,
My
and
brain hurts.
he's like already got already completed his first year of engineering into before he graduated high school. And so I'm just like, if you're gonna be the smartest person in our family, I'm gonna be the strongest person in my family. It's the only thing you
Yes.
got for me, bud. You know, so it's also kind of funny because you can just kind of tell who's who. Like, oh yeah, that's the wrestler, and he's just like more arts or whatever. But that's enough about it. And I just feel like I owe at least that to my family. Not the
Mm.
fact like it's not guilt, but I feel like they've done so much for me that the very least I can do is give this treasure of my existence.
I love that.
there are moments in your life when you feel like time, that it's no longer your time or anything of the sort. But when there is so many other sports out there like football, wrestling, or and you just think all those glory days are behind, there's just a new sport out there just waiting to be taught, waiting to be learned, waiting to just grow. And that's sumo wrestling. With the discipline of of all Japanese martial arts, and with the eccentricity of fireworks, it's the only sport I know that combines both strength and beauty in a matter like no other. It's beyond excellence. And this is coming from a man who's only done this sport for 4 months. And I am completely enamored with it. What else? I feel like that's good
That's
enough.
good. That's good. That was solid.